Mr. President, I come to the floor today to speak about a real opportunity that we have this week in this Congress, in this Senate, to come together in a bipartisan way to adopt measures that will actually create jobs and help grow our economy. This week, we're considering tax extenders, a package of bills that can do a lot of good for the middle class, our economy, and our nation. Together, various proposals in the tax extenders would spur investment in manufacturing, clean energy, innovation, make it easier for families to afford a home or to send their children to college, open up career pathways for veterans, and bring investments and jobs to communities in need. They recently passed by a voice vote out of the Finance Committee here in the Senate, sending an important signal that we can come together, Democrats and Republicans, to move our economy forward. And Mr. President, I mentioned innovation and manufacturing in particular as two of the things this broader package helps promote. I'd like to discuss two important bipartisan policies in this package, bills that have been rolled into the extenders package that can do a lot of good for startups and for innovative small manufacturers, for firms that invest heavily in the research and development that is needed to yield groundbreaking discoveries and steadily growing manufacturing employment here in the United States. R&D, research and development, is the cornerstone of any competitive company, and I would suggest country. And in the 21st century, for us to have and sustain an innovation economy, it is certainly the cornerstone of our nation's future. That's why for a number of years, bipartisan majorities in Congress have supported the R&D tax credit so that innovative companies are incentivized to keep investing in critically needed R&D, in new ideas, and in new products. But there's long been a problem with the structure of the R&D credit. It doesn't reach early-stage startup companies, those who are most innovative and those who have the greatest promise to grow. As the GAO has reported, over half of the current R&D credit goes to firms making over $1 billion. Though they're important as well, it's become clear that we're missing an opportunity to incentivize the most innovative and smallest and most startup companies, especially in manufacturing, an industry that invests a huge amount in R&D, but has had a challenging environment competitively, globally in the last decade. Today, because the R&D credit is a credit and not a tax, only if you have a tax liability, only if your company is profitable. A pre-profitable company can't access it. If you're a small business that pays the AMT, while there are many credits you could claim, the R&D credit isn't one of them, even though it's so important to our economy. This leaves out firms at the early stage where they're facing the highest risk of failure, but who also are the kind of technology-focused, early-stage, high-growth, high-potential businesses that have generated more net jobs than any other area of our economy in this century. These firms, that are sometimes called gazelle firms, are young, innovative businesses with the potential to explode in size and create hundreds or thousands of jobs. Think Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in a California garage starting what would become Apple. Or think Rick Berkmeyer or Ray Yin in Delaware, my home state. Rick Berkmeyer is an entrepreneur who has started a number of successful biotech companies in the Delaware region. He's someone with a reputation as a leader in his field. Even so, raising capital for a new startup venture is always a challenge. Rick's today the founder of CD Diagnostics, a leader in biomarker research and biochemical test development that makes tests to tell if a joint is infected or merely irritated. These tests would help orthopedic surgeons determine if surgery is needed or not and avoid a great deal of expensive and sometimes unnecessary exploratory procedures. The company's just a few years old and began with 1 employee. Today they have 82 and believe they'll have well over 170 in just 2 more years. Exponential hockey stick-like growth like this is great, but if he and his company were able to use the R&D credit before they reach profitability, they'd be able to hire more people, grow more quickly by investing in more equipment, and get products to market faster. Another young Delaware company that would benefit from the R&D tax credit is ANP of Newark, Delaware. I sat next to its CEO, Ray Yin, at the Wesley College graduation this weekend, where he gave the keynote. Ray's company, ANP, began with just 1 employee, him. Today, it's a leader in making nanotherapeutics and in biodefense technology that's affordable, wearable, and easy to use, whether testing against biochemical agents in the war setting or foodborne illnesses or water contamination here at home. Both of these 2 companies make terrific, compelling technology-based products, have managed their cash well, and are great examples of how to run a startup. But for each of them, They went through a very demanding period from their first capital investment to when they had reliable revenue coming in that is often called the valley of death, or the gap between launch and sustainability. They would be farther along, more mature, and more robust if they'd been able to access the R&D credit with their early expenditures. So over the past few years, I've been working diligently with a group of fellow senators, Republicans and Democrats, to find ways that we could work together to reshape and target a portion of the R&D credit to make it accessible to these sort of early stage companies. I want to give particular credit to Republican Senator Mike Enzi of Wyoming, who's been tireless and thoughtful. We've not always agreed. We come from quite different political perspectives, but his investment of time and of thoughtfulness in crafting the final outcome, the Startup Innovation Credit Act, is really worthy of thanks and of compliment. And Senator Schumer on the Finance Committee has really helped move the R&D credit revision forward into the tax extenders package. Manufacturing Jobs for America is a broader initiative that more than 26 senators have participated in that includes more than 33 bills. And this bill, the Startup Innovation Credit Act, is one of them, one of many bipartisan bills that can help manufacturers to grow, can help them to invest, and can help them get through a critical early stage period. Senator Roberts, Pat Roberts, Republican senator of Kansas, has also worked with me as well as with Senators Enzi and Schumer on a revision to the R&D credit that isn't available to firms, mostly small businesses, that pay the AMT. So we changed that as well. Both of these provisions have been adopted into the tax extender package. I also wanted to mention that the first I referenced, the Startup Innovation Credit Act, was also supported and has been moved forward with contributions by Senators Rubio and Blunt, Stabenow, Moran, and Kane. This is a terrific way for us to find a path forward for companies that are still too early in their development to pay employment taxes, but to use a fix that allows them to claim the R&D credit against employment taxes when they aren't yet paying income taxes. This kind of credit has been used before in states like Iowa and Arizona, New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. And they've been game changers, helping new firms to open their doors, to hire more workers, and to keep their doors open. By allowing companies to claim the R&D credit against either the AMT or their payroll tax obligations, we don't pick winners and losers. We don't focus on a specific area of the economy or technology. What we are doing instead is supporting any private sector firm that invests in research and development. It means cash in the pockets of small startup companies, which can make a critical difference, especially when financing and credit are tight. Mr. President, together, these bipartisan proposals can do a lot to put more Americans to work today, unleashing the innovations that will create the jobs of tomorrow. The federal role in research and innovation, I believe, is fundamental. It is also bipartisan. I thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for their partnership and collaboration, and I want to specifically thank the chair of the Finance Committee, Senator Ron Wyden, for his leadership in ensuring that the tax extender package is available now here for us on the floor to consider, that these provisions were included, and his support for moving forward on these vital job-creating proposals. Now let's work together here in this chamber to move across the finish line and get the job done so America can get more of our best people to work. Thank you.